it's a different kind of high, especially, I love meeting people and I love talking to them. So if I can conduct a workshop for a group of people, it would be so much fun and it would just energize me. And studio visits, oh my God, I must mention them. It's something which really keeps me going, just to meet artists and see their processes, how they're, that is, I miss that. I miss that a lot.
There's been a lot of scientific research recently about how Zoom calls have affected people, and it hasn't affected them in a positive way. It's been very negative. In fact, it's a kind of one of the things that people had issues with is how it dealt with eye strain and constantly looking at people on a screen, as opposed to, when you meet somebody in person, you can maybe touch their hand or put your hand on their shoulder, or they physically communicate and they have body language that communicates with you. And you can't get that on a Zoom call or any other type of presentation online. You just don't get that human warmth and glow like you just referred to when you meet somebody. And you're a very warm, loving human being anyway, and I could see why
that would really affect you. I could see that. It would
affect you for sure, because if you're in any kind of event where people are there, you're going to give off a lot of energy, which is going to make them feel good, and consequently, they're going to feed their energy back to you. We all miss that, and I know India's been particularly hard hit, and but this shall pass.
Yeah, hopefully it'll pass soon.
Definitely. It will pass. But I think, on the good side, there have been a few benefits in terms of, for instance, we talked about my website earlier. And so for the first time, I was able to host an online exhibition. And I don't think I would have done that if I didn't have to. So,
the benefit of that is more people around the world could participate.
Yeah, and get to see your site and
enjoy it like we did. That's
truly, yes.
Yeah, that probably would not have happened. Actually, we may not have ever met you, Nalini.
That's true. Probably not.
I know. That's very true. Actually, yes.
Well, I'm looking at my next question, and I'm looking forward to your answer, because you have so many warm thoughts and wisdom. And do you have a core philosophy you like to live by?
Yeah, I think so. I have changed tracks and the direction of where I'm going, I think, so many times in the last 20, 25 years. I think I truly believe that it's best to go with the flow and adapt to the situation, because there's good in every situation. There's good in everything that comes along. It's just up to you how you choose to see it and what you make of it, actually. So, yeah.
You're so right about that. And also, I get the feeling that you're saying just be flexible and not be so rigid in life and enjoy the process. And that is so entirely true. And I love that you said that.
I have a follow-up to that question, and you may have already answered this, but would you share with us and our listeners your connection to the spiritual side of your philosophy and how it has impacted your creativity?
So if I could share a very short story, something about adversity, something which I faced about 15 years ago. And it was a small injury, but it affected me greatly in the sense that I could not sit at a computer, nor could I type. So I went through a period where, there was a time when I actually had even trouble, just lifting my head, because it would cause me dizziness and all kinds of symptoms. But anyway, so that was a challenging time, because you feel so down and you feel so distressed by the entire, everything that's happening around you, and you seem to have no control over it. And it took time to overcome. So I will not say that, it just happened overnight and I came out of it. But having family and friends supporting me, that was a big, huge thing. Actually, my family and friends were typing for me. So I went through that phase where I would be dictating to them and they would be, they would do this because I still had all my deadlines. So there was a time when I was writing, I think there was 5 to 8 articles a week. I have no idea what I had gotten myself into, but anyways.
Yeah.
But fortunately, then we started, I got the speech to text software. And for several years, actually, it's just in the last 2-3 years that I've started typing again. But for maybe 12, 13 years, I was using speech to text software because I had this problem in my right shoulder and I just couldn't type.
My goodness. Well, the technology helped along, right?
Technology helped me, but this was a turning point for me in many ways. I think it was, my search to heal and to find alternative ways to heal and spiritual practices. That's why I narrated the story. Yeah. So, and I think it was when I learned Reiki and other, healing modalities, energy healing modalities, such as, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the emotional freedom technique, the EFT tapping.
Yes.
That's done on meridian points, the acupressure points, I believe. So things like that, I started doing those and I found that really helped me. It kind of grounded me. It let me be myself, I think, more, and allowed me to get in touch with myself in some ways, even though it sounds kind of lofty. But for me, it worked in many ways. And I think it then started to show up. The results started to show up in other ways, in releasing those beliefs, the blocks to creativity, and all of that. And then there was a shift, I think. It just helped my creativity. And I remember I started writing fiction at the time, and then I did a course in ceramics. I did a lot of other things. So yeah.
How interesting.